The most powerful presence in any room is often the one that doesn't demand attention. Sigma males don't flirt like most men, because they don't have to. There's no performance, no exaggerated charm, no desperate attempt to impress. And ironically, that's exactly what makes their presence magnetic. Their confidence is quiet, grounded, and unwavering. It doesn't scream for validation or chase approval, it simply exists. And somehow, people feel it without them saying a word. A Sigma male doesn't rely on pickup lines or rehearsed gestures. He leans into awareness, calm composure, and a deep sense of self. That's what draws people in. While others are busy putting on a show, the Sigma observes. Not to manipulate, but to understand. He sees through facades. He listens more than he speaks. And when he does speak, his words carry weight, cutting deeper than 100 surface-level compliments. He doesn't flirt for fun. He doesn't flirt to be liked. He flirts only when it's real, a reflection of interest rooted in authenticity. If you're someone who moves this way, chances are you've been misunderstood. Maybe people have called you distant, aloof, or emotionally unavailable. But don't mistake your silence for weakness, it's control. Discipline. Power. You're not chasing the game. You're reshaping it. Quietly. Effortlessly. And without ever needing to explain yourself. So gentlemen, let's break down the 12 ways Sigma males flirt completely differently, without even trying. Point number 8 hits different, don't skip it, because it exposes the one thing most men fake, but Sigma males master in silence. Number 1, they flirt with the mind, not just looks. Sigma males don't rely on their appearance to create attraction. While most people lead with image, charm, or playful energy, a Sigma leads with intellect. He understands that physical appeal might open the door, but it's depth that keeps it open. He doesn't chase validation through fake compliments or exaggerated praise. He doesn't perform. He doesn't try to be overly nice or laugh at what isn't funny. In fact, he may not even flirt in the traditional sense at all. Instead, he provokes thought. He asks questions that disarm you. He drops insights that shift your entire perspective. He challenges how you think, not to belittle you, but to see how far your mind is willing to go. Picture a room full of people trying to be funny, loud, or impressive. The Sigma male is quiet, until someone says something surface level. Then, with calm precision, he reframes the entire conversation. People pause. Energy shifts. And without raising his voice or fishing for attention, he becomes unforgettable. That's his edge. His mind is the seduction. His thoughts pull you in. And once your curiosity is hooked, the emotional and physical attraction follows like gravity. By the time you realize you're drawn to him, it's not because he smiled or flirted. It's because he made you think differently, about yourself, about the world, about him. That's not surface-level seduction. That's psychological connection. And it lingers. Number 2, their gaze reveals, not flatters. Most people look at you to express admiration, attraction, or approval. Their gaze is often designed to make you feel seen, liked, validated, even desired. But a Sigma male's gaze doesn't function that way. It doesn't flatter. It examines. When a Sigma male looks at you, he's not admiring your surface. He's scanning for truth, quietly asking, who are you beneath the image? His eye contact doesn't seek validation or provoke charm. It searches for authenticity. And the longer it lasts, the more it strips away the layers you didn't even know you were wearing. That's why it can be so disarming. You're not being looked at with lust or admiration. You're being seen. Really seen. And for many, that's terrifying. Because it's not about impressing him, it's about whether you can be real in his presence. His gaze bypasses the ego completely. It doesn't say, I like you. It asks, can I trust what I'm seeing? And if the answer is no, he moves on, without drama, without explanation. If you're fake, you'll retreat. If you're genuine, you'll feel drawn in. Because being seen without judgment, just curiosity and clarity, feels rare. And that's exactly why Sigma males either repel or deeply attract. Their eyes don't charm. They filter. So if you ever find yourself caught in that silent stare, understand, he's not trying to win you over. He's simply deciding if you're worth revealing anything to at all. Number 3, their emotions are off limits, by design. You don't get emotional access to a Sigma male unless he decides you've earned it. That's not coldness, it's control. Most people overshare. They emote loudly, react quickly, and seek constant reassurance. The Sigma male does the opposite. His emotional distance is not a defense, it's discipline. He doesn't reveal how he feels just because someone asks. He doesn't open up for temporary comfort. To him, emotional vulnerability is a privilege, not a public broadcast. And that creates mystery. When someone is emotionally guarded, you lean in. You try to read between the lines. You become more attentive, more hooked. His silences speak volumes. His presence lingers even when he says little. He doesn't flood you with emotion. He offers just enough to keep you guessing. And here's the truth, he's not trying to be mysterious. That's just who he is. He processes everything internally. Quietly. Privately. So when he does open up, it carries weight, it means something real. Sigma males don't need to be understood by everyone. They're content being truly seen by a few, and unreadable to the rest. That kind of emotional sovereignty isn't just rare, it's magnetic. Not because it plays the game better, but because it doesn't play at all. Remember, point number 8 hits different, don't skip it, let's move to next point. Number 4, they attract without trying. Sigma males don't flirt in the traditional sense, because they don't have to. No playful teasing, no cheesy one-liners, no obvious attempts to impress. In fact, what draws people in most is their complete lack of effort. They don't chase. They don't exaggerate interest. They don't lean in just because someone is attractive. Their greatest weapon? Authentic indifference. Not the fake kind meant to manipulate, real, grounded detachment. They're genuinely fine with whatever happens. If it clicks, great. If it doesn't, life goes on. That emotional neutrality creates mental tension most people aren't used to. You start wondering, is he into me, or am I reading too much into this? That uncertainty makes people lean in harder. You replay moments. You second-guess his silences. You analyze the smallest expressions. The Sigma male rarely spells anything out. And because he doesn't feed you constant validation, your mind starts doing the work for him. That's the secret. He doesn't flirt to gain attention, he holds still and lets others do the chasing. In a world obsessed with performing and impressing, his restraint becomes unforgettable. Number 5, they don't flirt to win, they flirt to reveal. For most people, flirting is a game, a performance meant to charm, impress, or win someone over. It's often more about strategy than sincerity. But for Sigma males, it's never a contest. They don't flirt to capture attention. They flirt to uncover the truth, not about themselves, but about you. To them, attraction isn't about gaining control or securing validation. It's not about polished compliments or rehearsed charm. That's superficial. Sigma males seek depth, not performance. They're not interested in how well you play a role, they're curious about who you are when the act drops. He'll ask questions that don't follow the script. He won't rush to respond. He may even disrupt the rhythm intentionally, just to see how you react when the moment doesn't unfold as expected. And that's the test. Not to manipulate you, but to understand you. Are you genuine, or just polished? Can you stay rooted in who you are without being pursued? Are you present when no one is trying to impress you? Most people are used to being flattered, courted, and charmed with effort. But a Sigma male holds his ground. He doesn't push to impress, he observes. He doesn't perform to conquer, he watches to uncover. And in that stillness, in that raw unscripted space where the usual flirting tactics dissolve, something rare happens, you stop performing. You start revealing. That's what a Sigma seeks. Not conquest. Not ego-boosting moments. Not temporary thrills. He seeks authenticity. Because to him, if there's no truth in the connection, there's no point in the attraction. Number 6, they don't show neediness, because they don't feel it. Let's be honest, most flirting, even when it appears confident, often masks a subtle need for validation. A compliment here, a playful remark there, lingering eye contact, it's all a quiet way of saying, notice me. But Sigma males operate on a completely different frequency. You'll never catch them fishing for approval or trying to win favor. They aren't interested in being the center of attention, nor do they flirt to feel desired. Why? Because their self-worth isn't dependent on external validation. Their identity remains solid, whether or not anyone acknowledges them. And that's precisely why people do notice. There's an undeniable magnetism in someone who doesn't need to be seen. Someone who isn't chasing attention or looking for emotional breadcrumbs. When you meet a Sigma male, you don't feel pulled in by his effort, you're drawn in by his absence. He's not reaching for you, and yet, he's already in your thoughts. That paradox is what makes him stand out. He's secure in who he is. If you're drawn to him, great. If not, that's equally fine. He doesn't shift his energy depending on who's watching. That kind of detachment isn't cold, it's composed. And in a world full of people trying to be liked, that kind of grounded self-assurance is rare, refreshing, and deeply attractive. Let's face it, people are naturally intrigued by what feels out of reach. When someone doesn't need your attention, it makes you want to know why. Sigma males don't flirt to gain something. They flirt without effort, and that's what makes them unforgettable. Number 7, they don't give attention, they make you earn it. For most people, flirting is a way to give smiles, give compliments, give attention in hopes of receiving some in return. It's emotional generosity with the hidden goal of being liked. But Sigma males don't play that game. To them, attention isn't a gift they hand out freely. It's not flattery, it's a filter. If a Sigma is engaging with you, he's not doing it to be noticed or to get something back. He's watching, quietly, measuring more than he's revealing. And when he finally does give you a look, a subtle smile, or a few words, it lands. Not because it's dramatic, but because it's rare. Everything he does is deliberate. Nothing is filler. No gestures are empty. That's why Sigma flirting feels different. It's not a show. It's a scan. He's not trying to make you feel good for the sake of it. He's testing something deeper, your composure, your self-awareness, your ability to stay grounded without constant approval. Can you sit with silence without rushing to fill it? Can you be real without trying to prove something? Can you stay present without fishing for validation? If you can, you'll notice his attention slowly intensify, not all at once, but steadily. If you can't, if you over-explain, perform, or start chasing his approval, he'll simply disappear. Not with drama. Just with silence. His attention is earned, not through looks or charm, but through presence, honesty, and depth. Sigma males don't test people with games. They test them with truth. And only the real ones pass. Number 8, they reject performative masculinity entirely. Sigma males don't put on a show to prove they're men. You won't see them puffing their chest, flexing fake confidence, or exaggerating charm just to fit a masculine mold. If there's one thing they can't stand, it's performative masculinity, the kind that's loud on the surface but hollow underneath. For a Sigma, real masculinity isn't something you showcase. It's something you embody. It's not measured in volume or bravado, but in self-possession, clarity, and restraint. They're not interested in trying to look tough, nor do they overcompensate with sensitivity just to appear more balanced. They don't fake dominance, and they don't perform softness either. What you see is what's there, raw, grounded, and unapologetically unpolished. His masculinity isn't curated. It's not a performance. It's not a carefully constructed identity. It's his natural state, stripped of societal expectations and theatrical flair. And that's exactly why it makes people uncomfortable, or earn their respect. There's no charming buffer, no mask to ease the edge. Just presence. When a Sigma speaks, it's with intent, not to impress, but to be understood. And when he's silent, it's not hesitation, it's controlled awareness. He listens more than he speaks. He acts less, but his actions hit deeper. In a world where most are trying to appear like something, he simply is. This isn't about balancing feminine energy or leaning into hypermasculinity. It's about standing firmly in who he is without needing validation from anyone. He doesn't flirt by trying to impress. He flirts by being fully present and letting his energy do the talking. That's not some manipulative strategy. That's raw authenticity. And in a society obsessed with appearances, that kind of realness is rare and dangerously magnetic. Number 9, they don't flirt to connect, they flirt to read you. Most people flirt to build connection. They want to be seen, desired, chosen. A Sigma male? He isn't flirting to bond. He's studying you. Every interaction is a scan. Your tone. Your timing. How fast you try to impress. How you respond to silence. He's not trying to make you comfortable. He's watching who you are when no one's handing you attention. Because Sigma males don't chase connection. They chase truth. If you're authentic, grounded, real, he notices. If you're performing, overcompensating, or playing games, he notices faster. He won't call you out. He won't warn you. You just won't see him again. That's the Sigma test, quiet, invisible, final. To him, attraction isn't a performance. It's a mirror. Not to reflect his charm, but to expose your truth. And if what's behind your smile is solid, he'll stay. If it's just another mask, he won't even look back. Because a Sigma male doesn't flirt for validation. He flirts to see who's real enough to stay in the room once the masks fall off. Number 10, they don't use their body, they use your mind. Sigma males don't rely on charm, flashy smiles, or physical gestures to capture attention. They don't lead with their looks. They lead with precision, with suggestion, not seduction. A Sigma male doesn't need to touch you to leave a mark. He plants ideas, subtle, well-timed comments that seem casual in the moment, but echo long after the conversation ends. A quiet question. A calm observation. A passing remark that hits deeper than expected. You carry it with you. You think about it later. It grows, quietly tugging at the edges of your mind. That's the power of the Sigma. He doesn't chase your body, he haunts your thoughts. Not because he's playing a game, but because he's observant. Intentional. He sees what others miss and speaks in a way that sticks. You don't walk away feeling flattered. You walk away curious, about him, about yourself, about what just happened. And that curiosity becomes a loop. You replay moments. You wonder if there was something more. You find yourself leaning in, not because of what he did, but because of what he didn't. No loud moves. No obvious pursuit. Just calculated presence, timing, and silence. Sigma males don't seduce. They suggest. And suggestion, done right, is far more addictive than anything physical. Because once your mind is engaged, the rest follows. And by the time you realize it, he's already gone, calm, quiet, unreadable. Number 11, they flirt like strategists, not romantics. Sigma males don't flirt the way most people expect. You won't find them swept up in emotion or jumping into flirtatious banter just for excitement. Their approach is measured, not manipulative, but intentional. They don't say things just because the moment feels warm. They don't send impulsive 2 a.m. messages because they suddenly miss you. Their actions are grounded in clarity, not emotion. And that's exactly what makes them effective. A Sigma male scans the room before speaking. He studies people before engaging. He isn't trying to spark butterflies, he's trying to understand whether a real connection exists. He doesn't flirt to feel something. He flirts to see something. Is there genuine depth? Real interest? Or is it just surface-level attention? This calm, thoughtful approach sparks curiosity, not confusion. While others might send heart emojis or blurt out compliments after 5 minutes, a Sigma waits. And when he does speak, it lands differently. It's timed. It's purposeful. You could be chatting about music, books, or weekend plans, and then, out of nowhere, he asks a quiet question that cuts through the surface. Something deeply personal. Something real. It feels like he's seeing something in you that others don't, because he is. That's not coincidence. That's strategy. He flirts with awareness, with clarity, and with intention. And the best part? Because he doesn't flirt all the time, it hits harder when he finally does. Every move feels distinct. Every word feels earned. Every connection feels like it matters. That's the Sigma way. Never random. Always real. Number 12, they use precision over repetition. Sigma males don't overwhelm you with constant attention. They don't repeat compliments, flood your phone with messages, or throw out lines hoping one will land. Instead, they do the opposite. They wait, they observe, and when they speak, it's deliberate. They're not driven by quantity but by timing. One meaningful glance from a Sigma male can say more than an entire conversation. A single, well-chosen word can have more impact than 10 empty compliments. He knows exactly when to lean in, and when to remain silent. This level of precision makes his presence feel intentional and focused. Nothing is said to fill space. Everything carries weight. Think of it like this: most people flirt like someone firing wildly at a target, hoping something hits. But a Sigma male is more like a sniper, calm, focused, and effective. One move. One impact. No wasted effort. For example, imagine a woman tells a joke, and everyone responds with polite laughter. The Sigma male doesn't laugh just to blend in. He waits. Then, at just the right moment, he leans in and says one smart, unexpected thing, something that shows he was truly listening. And that single moment lingers. Why? Because it was authentic. It wasn't for show, it was real. That's why interactions with Sigma males are memorable. It's not because they're loud or attention-seeking, it's because they're intentional. Every word, every look, every gesture feels earned. In a world overflowing with meaningless chatter, a Sigma's silence speaks volumes. He doesn't shower you with flattery, he gives just enough to stay on your mind. He's not playing the numbers. He's crafting a moment. And once that moment lands, you never see him the same way again. Final thoughts: the loud chase attention, the rare command it. Sigma males don't flirt like everyone else, because they're not like everyone else. They don't seek approval. They don't rehearse charm. And they certainly don't lose sleep trying to be liked. Their presence speaks before their words ever do, not because they're trying to stand out, but because they're not trying at all. You don't flirt to prove something. You observe. You evaluate. You speak only when it matters. That calm restraint, that unshakable self-control, it's what makes your presence unforgettable. In a world where so many are desperate to be seen, your silence carries power. While others reach for validation, you remain grounded in who you are. You let people reveal themselves first. You study before speaking. And when you finally do say something, it lands with precision. That's not emotional distance. That's discipline. That's a level of emotional intelligence most lack, and few can handle. So if you've ever been told you're hard to read, too distant, or emotionally unavailable, don't see it as a flaw. Understand what it really means: you're not easily accessible. You don't hand out your energy for free. Your attention has value, and not everyone gets to have it. That's why your approach works. Not because it's loud, but because it's authentic. Keep showing up as you are, sharp, grounded, unapologetically real. You weren't made to play the game. You were made to rise above it.